Let us do post-reading work and let us work out the strategy for understanding, analysis, and interpretation of the text you have read. Literary and language focus. Determine the author's style, identifying particular word choices, figurative language, and different language devices. Define and identify irony in the story and explain the author's purpose for using it. Explain the use of the literary elements of the story, theme, plot, setting, character, point of view. Speak about style in general and O. Henry's style in particular. Generally, O. Henry's writing style is described as flowery because he describes events in a colorful, imaginative style to impress and amuse his readers. He possesses one of the largest vocabularies among his contemporary writers. Sometimes he employs inflated circumlocution. His irony is individual and quite different from other American writers. O. Henry uses a number of so-called learned words, deliberately to form a sharp contrast to Soapy's devastating condition. This kind of inflated circumlocution is not consistent with the character's deplorable state. And now let us deal with an extract from the story The Cop and the Anson. Soapy's mind became cognizant of the fact that the time had come for him to resolve himself into a singular committee of ways and means to provide against the coming rigor, and therefore he moved uneasily on his bench. The hibernatorial ambitions of Soapy were not of the highest. In them there were no considerations of Mediterranean cruises, of soporific southern skies drifting in the Vesuvian Bay. 3 months on the island was what his soul craved. Try to find other examples of this kind where O. Henry uses inflated circumlocution, and try to answer the question, what layer words are mainly used in the story? Illustrate your answer with examples. O. Henry uses a lot of slang in this story, and now let us deal with the problem of slang. Slang was originally a term for the old French phrase, which translated into English means dirty language. It is regarded as unconventional language. It is colloquial, sometimes vulgar, and always innovative. Nothing registers change in cultural thought faster than slang. The circle of slang users is much narrower than users of colloquialisms. It is mainly used by the young who try to demonstrate their spiritual independence and defiance, or low-class people who lack in education. Slang is usually informal and spoken, rather than formal and written. Slang is not the same as dialect, nor is it quite equal to swearing, although it may take on a vulgar edge, and it almost always evokes negative attitudes. Characterized by its ability to startle, slang falls below the neutral register of daily speech. It is considered to be the language of a particular group. The New English Dictionary defines slang as follows: the special vocabulary used by any set of persons of a low or disreputable character, language of a low and vulgar type, language of a highly colloquial type. O. Henry uses a lot of slang in his story. Bluecoats, they took their heels, if you'll blow me to a pail of suds, the clinging ivy to his oak. What is the function of slang in this story? Episode or break in the narrative. Episode or break in the narrative is a sudden break in the narration, which has the function to reveal agitated state of the speaker. Now read the story carefully and identify the cases of episode or break in the narrative. Decide why the author refers to this language device. Violation of the graphical shape of the word. In The Cop and the Anson, O. Henry refers to intentional violation of the graphical shape of a word, creating the atmosphere of live communication. This device usually serves the purpose of individualizing the character's speech and provides the information about his or her social and educational background, emotional or even sarcastic attitude. Find examples in the story and speak about their functions. Stylistic parallelism. When successive clauses or sentences are similarly structured, we deal with parallelism. Stylistic parallelism is often achieved with other stylistic principles, such as antithesis, the juxtaposition of contrasting ideas, anaphora, repetition of a word or phrase at the beginning of every clause, and some others. Identify the cases of stylistic parallelism achieved with other stylistic principles in the text. Identify language devices. Read carefully the sentences below and decide what kind of semantic relations do the words have with other adjacent words in the context. What is this language device called? What effect does it create? Up Broadway he turned and halted at a glittering cafe, where are gathered together nightly the choicest products of the grape, the silkworm and the protoplasm. His life contained such things as mothers and roses and ambitions and friends and immaculate thoughts and colors. He halted in the district where by night are found the lightest streets, hearts, bows, and librettos. Consider the following extract from the text. What language device can we meet there? Can this device help the reader to concentrate on the message? When wild geese honk high of nights, and when women without sealskin coats grow kind to their husbands, and when Soapy moves uneasily on his bench in the park, you may know that winter is near at hand. Or he would pull himself out of the mire, he would make a man of himself again, he would conquer the evil that had taken possession of him. Does this sentence below help to create contrast between the two phenomena or objects? What language device is it? Its crockery and atmosphere were thick, its soup and napery thin.